All right, here we go. This is a big one. This is a big one. All right, let me start off like this. The Treasury has this committee called the TBAC, T-B-A-C. It stands for Treasury Borrowing Advisory Committee. And it is, the committee members basically are from people from Wall Street. They're from banks. They're from investment companies. There's about a dozen people on that committee, and it's a rotating chairperson who chairs the committee. All right, and this committee is set up. Now think about this for a second. The committee is a bunch of people from Wall Street. All right, and it's set up to advise the U.S. Treasury on what bonds to sell, what duration, the composition of those bonds, the frequency, da-da-da-da-da, all right? Now you're talking about a committee of, private people who are advising the U.S. government, which is a sovereign currency issuing entity, a monopolist in its own money, and that includes any securities denominated in its own money, which is the U.S. dollar. So you have a bunch of these people that the Treasury goes to and says, what should we do? I mean, if you think about it, that's like John Rockefeller, all right, the great monopolist of Standard Oil. Can you imagine in the day at the peak of his power, when he basically controlled the global oil market, if he went to all his little competitors and said, how much oil should I sell? And at what price? And when should I sell it? I mean, seriously, Rockefeller crushed those people. But anyway, this is the ridiculousness of this setup that we have right now, the TBAC. So, there's a woman who is the chairperson right now. Her name is Elizabeth Hammack, and she is also the global treasurer for, guess who? Goldman Sachs, all right? She is the current chairperson of TBAC, that committee. So, the other day, from what I was reading, she sent off an urgent letter to Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin saying she was totally worried and concerned because over the next 10 years, the Treasury is going to have to sell 12 trillion of bonds, and she doesn't know who's going to buy them. I mean, step back for a second. This is the treasurer of Goldman Sachs. Oh, by the way, this woman had, just so you know, her qualifications. You ought to know this because she has a history degree from Stanford, okay? So she's definitely qualified. Come on. So she sends this letter to Mnuchin saying, I don't know, over the next 10 years we got to sell $12 trillion. For first of all, I mean, this is the thing that killed Bill Gross. Remember I talked about like that. Who's going to buy them now? These people fundamentally don't understand that government spending itself creates the dollars to buy treasuries, and treasuries themselves are just dollars with a term, in other words a duration, and a coupon, an interest rate attached. So what happens is the Treasury, the government spends money. The dollars of spending pile up in the banking system, right? The government pays money to people, Social Security recipients, defense contractors, whatever. The money goes into the banking system, and then some of that money is exchanged. Some of those dollars, cash dollars, are just swapped for treasuries. And treasuries are just dollars with a term and a coupon. Anyway, she doesn't understand that there's always going to be the money there. It doesn't matter if nobody... The Chinese don't buy. People are receiving payments from the government. Some of those people are going to choose to hold them in the form of treasuries because they earn some interest. Now she doesn't know that. She's the head of the committee, the TBAC. None of these people know that. She sends a letter. Now here's another thing that's going to blow your mind, and I know a lot of people are going to give me a lot of pushback on this, and you know, I should put up a screenshot, but you can go get it yourself. if you go to the daily Treasury statement, all right, which the Treasury puts out every day, that is a free, publicly available statement. I've spoken about this. By the way, I have a video course on this for 99 bucks. If you want to understand how to read the daily Treasury statement, this is the best 99 bucks you ever spent in your life. Go to my website, pitbulleconomics.com, click on the tab that says courses, and get the daily Treasury statement. It's a 6-hour video course. I show you how to access the thing, to read it, to go through the numbers, all right? Anyway, right off the daily Treasury statement, which every day comes out at 4 o'clock, if you look at the full year ending last year, the full fiscal year 2018, the Treasury sold, this comes right off table 3A, table 3A of the daily Treasury statement. In the full year ending fiscal year 2018, the Treasury sold, now this is 1 year, not 10 years, sold 100 trillion of securities, and it redeemed 99 trillion. Okay, so we added a trillion to the so-called debt, but it sold 100. Now this is public information. This comes from the Treasury itself, the very Treasury that this woman advises as the head of the committee. She doesn't know. She's the head of Goldman, the treasurer of Goldman Sachs. She advises the Treasury. She could click on a link and see this information that in 1 year, the Treasury sold 100 trillion. And she's like, oh my God, over the next 10 years, how the hell are we going to sell 12 trillion, Mr. Mnuchin, Secretary Mnuchin? I'm freaking out. This is who we have running the show here, folks. This is the kind of people, clueless people, running the show. Okay? Get that course. It will enlighten you, and you will have information to blow the mind of anyone, your family, your friends, your colleagues, your workmates, or you'll start a lot of arguments because they're not going to believe you. It's right there in the Treasury's own daily release. The numbers are all there. By the way, a lot of numbers are there. Very fascinating. It's like looking at the checkbook, the bank account of the U.S. Treasury. Every single line item of withdrawal, just like your checkbook, and every single line item of deposit is in there. Have fun. Bye-bye.